Hello, my friends, Focus family. BenJoe here. Once again, excited to give you just a little bit of nugget of wisdom for this month. And I am excited to talk to you about this great book that I've read. In fact, this book is what's so exciting for me. It was recommended to me by Bracken, who's our vice president over our domestic operations. And she got this from one of our clients. And she passed it on to me. And I have absolutely loved this book. And I think this is going to go on one of my top 10 lists of books of people who want to expand their career. So if you're looking to take your career to the next level, if you want to stand out as a leader in a competitive world, or even just change the way that you work within your community, in your church, with your friends, with your family, then I can highly recommend this book by Sylvia Ann Hewlett called Executive Presence, where she dives into the secrets of what sets exceptional leaders apart from the rest. Specifically, she calls out what I would say the three pillars of executive presence. She talks about gravitas, communication, and appearance. Now, gravitas is that aura of confidence, that poise, that credibility. It's about commanding respect and making a lasting impact. It's about emotional intelligence and how we communicate with people and connect with people when we walk into a room. But then communication, that's the actual mastering of the verbal and nonverbal skills to articulate our ideas, building those relationships, and then inspiring others. And then finally, the appearance, aligning our physical presence with our organizational culture. Now, that doesn't mean you got to go lose 500 pounds. It's about, do you dress the role? Do you dress the part? Do you connect with the people? Are you projecting the professionalism and making a memorable impression? I loved everything about the book, and it really is a fantastic book that really goes beyond the basics. It addresses the unique challenges faced by women, people of color, and professionals from all non-traditional backgrounds. But it's really just core for anybody who wants to take it to the next level. One of the parts that got me thinking was the part about gravitas. And she talks in there about gravitas isn't just about touting who you are and how smart you are and ego. In fact, she shows a lot of stories about people who thought that they were the smartest people in the room. And because they thought they were the smartest people in the room, they failed. In reality, you have to surround yourself with smart people. You have to be humble and give credit to lots of people and build up the team around you to help you have that gravitas. But you have to know your business. Now, early in my career at Focus, we were working with a client, and I'd only been working with this client for a couple of weeks. I didn't know much about the client. I didn't know much about the products we sold, the KPIs, really nothing. All I knew was I was asked to come in, help this campaign. The client was kind of frustrated. We needed to fix it. So I come in, I've been in here for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden, my boss calls me and says, hey, we need to go to Florida. We're going to go meet with these guys. And I was like, all right, I don't know anything about them. So we fly out to Florida. We get to their office, and I'm thinking this is just going to be just an easy meet and greet. So I went to the director we had at the time. I said, make me up a little deck of the performance. I can kind of walk through the basics, and we'll go in, meet and greet them. I'll talk about a little bit of performance, and we'll be good to go. Well, 30 minutes into this meeting, I quickly realized that they're pushing me 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions deep on every single thing I'm talking about. And I could barely even go 2 questions deep. And that's one of the things that Sylvia Ann Hewlett talks about, specifically when she talks about gravitas and communication and your appearance. You've got to be the type of person who can go 6 questions deep on every topic. I couldn't even go 1, maybe 2. Now, I used all the right buzzwords. Like, well, we're helping people, we're getting down to the agent level, we're focusing on the culture, we're going to get some incentives, the new hires are bringing us down, we're going to focus on training. I talked about all that stuff, all right? And I'm sure they were second guessing why I was even there. Sure, I could have made plenty of excuses. I'd only been on the campaign for a couple of weeks. In reality, the reality was I just didn't know my business. Now, I've been on all different sides of this table. And in fact, if you've ever been in a business interview with me, people often find it annoying because I ask 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions. And that's because I want to know, do you have the gravitas? Do you have the confidence, poise, and credibility? Do you command the respect because you know this business inside and out? That night, I stayed up all night studying the data. I was panicked. I'm sure my boss was thinking, why did I even bring this guy? He probably could have answered the questions better than me. Because I didn't know my business. Had no gravitas. So So I stayed up all night studying this, learning the business, listening to calls. I had people sending me calls. I was listening to live calls until like 1 a.m. Next morning, I went in, we got talking more about the business, and this time I could answer questions. Could I go 6 questions deep? No, I could go maybe 3 or 4, but I did better. And then we dropped a great idea. I said to the client, hey, can I extend my trip? I'm going to extend my trip a couple of days. I want to stay here and I want to learn your business inside and out. I want to learn your best practices. I want to connect with you guys. I want to see what you're doing to drive success. And they said, yeah, we would love that. And so they treated me like a king. They took me out to dinner and they set me up with their best trainers. They let me attend their ops meetings. I mean, I literally saw what their agents, their coaches, all their people go through on a daily basis and how they perform. I took copious notes. I learned so much. And the business thrived with them after that. I was able to take back what I learned. Now, flash forward 6 months later, and they give us a call and they say, we want to come out and do a business review at your site this time. I'm like, sounds great. And so they fly out and they come out. And at this time, we were down in El Salvador doing the work for them. They come down to El Salvador. And I met with my team for a week straight, and we were nervous as all heck. We were freaking out because I told them, you got to be 6 questions deep. You got to know this business. And we did. We went over it. And they got us into this training room, this conference room, and they were just peppering us with question after question after question. And we were doing our best to answer. And finally, they threw out this KPI. And they were like, what's going on with here? And these guys were from New Jersey. And so they were like, hey, what are you talking about here? And they were just attacking us. And right then, my director, Moises, who was not 6 questions deep, he was 20 questions deep, pulls out all this information and these answers and just silences them. And they say, you know what? You're right. You know this business better than us. 13 years later, we are still working with that client. We're still one of their top performing vendors. And honestly, I don't do anything with this campaign. I've got amazing leaders that know more about this business. Now, they keep me informed, and I stay 6 questions deep with this thing. You could ask me questions, okay? But these guys are amazing, and they can go 30, 40, 50 questions deep. And that's why it's expanded over multiple lines of business and multiple languages, and it's one of our longest running campaigns ever. The book, Executive Presence, I highly recommend it to everybody. I'm going to challenge every single one of you. Whether you work for Focus or you are just in your career, I challenge you to define what it means to have executive presence. And how do you get that gravitas? How do you get 6, 7, 8 questions deep into your business so you can go into any situation and you can truly stand out as a credible leader? Thank you, my friends. Wonderful month. I love everything that I'm seeing here at Focus. We are growing, we are expanding, we are winning every single day. And it's because of what you guys produce as leaders. And I can't do it without you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.